guy. This is our co-host today, Nathan Thibodeau.
What's up?
What's up, guys? And this is a very special edition of the show because we are giving you a sneak preview of what's to come in just a couple days.
Just a little taste, a little look,
so you
can get a feel for what kind of craziness we're doing here.
We are about to launch the American Contractor Summit day after tomorrow, and it's going to be epic.
It's going to be fantastic. This is a different kind of event. I think there's some confusion around it too, because I've been promoting this event with the people I talk to, and a lot of people don't realize you don't have to come here. Right. So where you're seeing this right now is where you could watch this entire thing we're going to do.
With yourself, your team, whoever you want to watch it with.
Pants, no pants.
Mask, no mask.
Yeah.
It's all good. We're all cool. So this is one of the coolest events in the industry right now. This is not a webinar. Let me reiterate.
Not a
webinar. We are on a soundstage right now, coming to you from the soundstage, and this is the way the actual entire event is going to be. There will be speakers on the stage like Jim Johnson. You know that guy?
I do know Jim Johnson. Paul Reed.
Paul Reed. There's going to be like Dale Childress.
Randy Brothers.
Oh yeah, Randy Brothers, Hunter Ballou.
Chuck Doki.
Chuck Doki. We've got Jonathan Sherwood. There's like a whole bunch of cool people that are going to be here. Joseph Hughes.
Completely Zoomless.
No Zoom at all.
Zoomless.
It's all going to be on the actual stage. So this is an actual event. This is not a webinar. So if you have not signed up yet, get on the Facebook event, American Contractor Summit. We tagged it here in the description. Get your ticket. It's only like $99.
Right, and if you wanted to have your whole team there, still $99.
It's $99. Just get everyone together, watch this stuff, because this is what this event is about. It's about sales, it's about marketing, it's about team building, it's about culture, it's about recruiting, it's about scaling your business. All the things that are important in 2021, because 2021 is a whole different year than any year we've seen in the past.
Oh, we're starting with a pandemic instead of working our way into it.
Right? It's crazy. Like when we started 2020, nobody had any clue that there would be a worldwide pandemic that it was about to hit. And now we're going to 2021 with a whole new outlook, a whole different consumer, a whole different client that we've never experienced before. So if you want to scale your business, you want to grow, you want to take advantage of the opportunity that is 2021, I like that, then this is where you need to start. This is the best place to start for a year. So go get your registration, get your ticket. Now today, on this episode, we're actually going to do a really cool deal here. So we have a really cool person here, someone local here in Indianapolis. So we are shooting this from Indianapolis. And we were able to get Aaron Christy to come out here and talk to us. Yeah. And I'm really excited about this conversation. So Nathan and Aaron are going to sit down and talk. But Aaron is in his second year of business. And I'll let him tell you guys more about this too. But I always get excited when I introduce Aaron, because I think he's like one of the coolest people I've ever met in this industry. But he's already 8 figures, so that means over 10 million, not 7. Remember, I made that mistake, actually.
A couple commas.
Yeah, I did. Randy Brothers called me out, said, John, you know 7 figures is only $1 million. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. It's actually 8 figures. And so we changed it to the 8-figure contractor panel that's going to be happening. But Aaron is here, and he's already done 8 figures in his second year in business. And so I'm really excited to have him with us. So without further ado, folks, the one and only Mr. Aaron Christy.
I was building on a lecture. Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams and talking one.
So how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah?
Yep.
Happy to hear that. So John was telling us a little bit about your story, which is fairly unique. The level of growth you've experienced in 2 years. Now, it's not the only time we've seen this kind of a thing, but it's certainly rare. You want to give us kind of a quick rundown of kind of first of all when you guys started and why, and kind of how you ended up with that incredible amount of growth that quickly?
Well, how we started, I actually, I was in a family business for 16 years, and it got to be there's a lot of traveling and things, and so I went to get out of that, and I started a furniture store, actually, that had nothing to do with roofing. I wasn't in the roofing industry at all before, and a friend of mine was working in at a roofing company, and he was like, hey, do you want to come sell some roofs while you're starting the store? And I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Are you guys still friends after that?
Yeah, he actually works with me now. So it was it was a single person that had actually left a roofing company with him. He didn't really know what was going on. The guy went out to do claims as an adjuster in like North Carolina or something. So he was kind of just dropped this company, and so we studied and did a lot of stuff and tried to learn from different events, and we did it for a little while, and then the guy came back in town, and we decided to not work together. And I was kind of focusing on my furniture store, and I had set up some relationships with realtors, and a realtor called me and was like, hey, I need this roof done. I'm like, okay. So I actually put together an LLC real quick, and we got everything in place, and we did this first roof. And then I had this company in place, and we had a hailstorm August 28th of 2018 around here. And I was like, well, if we have this storm, I might as well, and I have this company, I might as well see what we can do with it. And so I did some guerrilla marketing to a bunch of realtors and reached out to them and told them how we could help them and things, and got a ton of response. And to this day, people have always asked me, like, oh, how do you get so successful so quickly? Well, I came from a corporate background, and we always show up and, we do what we say we're going to do, and, try to go through the things. And I think it's basic business, but I had a lot of people that are like, wow, you're the fourth roofer I've called that, has actually showed up or called me back. And I think it's just about, with the realtors anyway, they need a lot of stuff quickly and on time and showing up and doing these things. And we had a lot of growth based off of that after that storm. And it just started to go from there. And then my friend came over that I was talking about that brought me in, and he started selling roofs with me, and then his brother came in, and it kind of organically grew. We haven't actively searched for any sales reps because I think we have a good environment in place where people want to work, and we have a good system set up to help them succeed. And so most of the people that started working for me were my friends, and then their friends wanted to come on board, and they saw them being successful. So we organically grew. And then last year we just kind of blew up, and I believe that just has a lot to do with how we've tried to treat people, and we are honest about if somebody needs a claim or if somebody doesn't need a claim. We go through and we actually show them photos on CompanyCam, so they're not just taking our word for it. We got a lot of reviews on Google from these people that are actually, I probably get more reviews on Google from people that I didn't work with, because we'll ask them, we'll say, hey, here's your roof inspection, you don't need anything done, your roof's in great shape, and those people will leave reviews saying, hey, they were honest, they didn't try to talk me into a roof when we didn't need it. And I probably get more calls off that than the other.
Wow, that's really cool. Getting reviews from people simply because of your behavior and not necessarily your performance.
Correct.
Wow, that's super cool. So if I'm honest, I hadn't even hardly heard about you until a mutual friend of ours introduced us,
right.
And you and I kind of started talking a little bit and learning about where you came from. And since then, I just kind of started paying a little bit of attention. I'm like, who is this guy, and where's he at, and where's he going, and what's he up to?
Yep.
And you are kind of like everywhere. I'm noticing that you're traveling here, you're traveling there, you're trying to get to this event, you're trying to meet with this person, and you're kind of investing a lot of money and time and resources in meeting other people and kind of expanding your own personal network inside of this industry. So tell me a little bit about, because obviously when you're growing that much, you got to keep your head down and stay focused on your business.
Yes.
But for you to be spending that much time means that you're not at some point you're not necessarily with your head down inside the business. You're kind of out other places. How does that work for you with that much growth in an industry that you're new to?
Well, so one of my best friends in the world is the complete opposite of me. I came from a more sales and marketing background, and you've met Josh, but Josh Conrad, I've known since 5th grade, and he is very business oriented. He's ran warehouses with 10,000 people in it, and he's systems and processes, and I'm sales and marketing, so we complement each other very well. So he's came on board and kind of set up all these systems and processes, and he takes care of the business really good from that side. so I can focus on the sales and marketing side and the things that I'm good at, my strengths, and I have my weaknesses. And fortunately, I have somebody that I trust and care about, that trusts me and cares about me, that we can work together, and he kind of deals with all the stuff where I'm lacking.
And if you've known him that long, he's probably got quite a bit of dirt on you too. So
don't talk to him.
Okay, so that kind of leads me to the idea of the right-hand guy or gal, as people put it. Like, you've got somebody who you can lean on.
Correct.
Who's different than you.
Yes, 100%.
I've seen partnerships where the partners were very similar people. They liked doing the same thing, which kind of made them jive a little bit, but they also hated doing the same things, which means the things they hated never got done, right? Because those two guys are, but that opposing personality and partnership is part of that key there.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. Otherwise, you have two people bickering over the same things, or you have a yes man, and that's not Josh. Josh will be like, hey man, I don't think you're doing this right, or I think you should do this. And we do that to each other, and I think that's very important, because it forces you to think about, these different opinions besides your own. And sometimes you got to say, hey, you know what, I don't totally agree with it, but this is your area of expertise, so I trust you.
So how often does he win versus you win?
Oh man, I'd like to say I always win, but it's not true.
So I think the fact that you're spending this much time investing in kind of yourself for the purpose of your business speaks a little bit to how much you value education and personal growth.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious on two sides. Number one, where did that come from? Was that something you naturally had, or did you discover that personal growth was going to be a key to your future? And then, what is your favorite way to learn?
Well, number one, I absolutely did not always have that. I was not a huge fan of school. I graduated high school. I did not go to college, though. I went to the workforce immediately.
School of hard knocks, baby.
Yeah, I started a sales job my first year out of high school for a family business, and I worked there for 15, 16 years doing sales and marketing with them. And then it's just a little different when you start your own business or something that you're a part of. You want, me personally anyway, I want it to be the best that it can be. I want to have the best product, I want to have the best business, I want to have the best work environment, and I know that in order to succeed with those type of things, I need to learn from people that have done it or can provide me value or information that I can use, because if I thought I knew everything, I wouldn't be near where I'm at today. I'd be, who knows. But
was there a moment where you were working along in your business and you hit a moment and you were like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing here, I need help?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically since the start. I didn't have a background in this at all. I had a good business sense from working at my family's company for 15 years, and I knew how business should be conducted. But as far as this goes, man, I learned. I started when I was at the other company. I learned a ton off of YouTube and just anything I could get my hands on. I went to the Art of the Supplement when I figured out I started getting claims and learning how to do that. And
Shout out to John.
Shout out to John. That wasn't planned. I did go. So I went there, and then I met him, and I found I actually drove to Ohio for that event. Because that was the next one that I could get into that was, reasonable. So I drove to Ohio, and I went through it, and I ended up staying after and asking a bunch of questions. And then I found out John lived in Indiana, 30 minutes north of me. So we kept in contact. But just everything that I learned, I could get something from that helped me grow and helped my business and helped me structure it better. And I took classes on Google, like the Google My Business pages and how to improve your Google business listing and get knocked up that map. I mean, that's extremely valuable. So I covered, I took social marketing, social marketing classes for social media, and just anything that I could get my hands on from any avenue, whether it's about roofing, whether it's about SEO, whether it's about, social media. I want to learn and absorb these things because they all help.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's awesome. Discovering, a question came to mind as you were speaking. As you've learned more and become more proficient, Has that caused you to feel like you know more, or caused you to feel like you know less?
No, I don't think I have that personality that I have to kind of be in charge of everything and like I have to do this and this and this. I know there are a lot of people that know a lot more than me. Josh Conrad, for instance, knows way more about me than processes and procedures and management. He's killing me there. And then
he's wild. You talk about processes and procedures, and his eyes light up, and he smiles, and I'm like,
exactly, that's me. So yeah, he's got it. No, you're absolutely right, man. And he's good at that, and I let him be with that. And then we work with Savage Media that does a lot of our video and things, and he's head and shoulders. Shout out to Savage. Shout out to Savage. Like, they do great work, and I give them suggestions sometimes. And I love Derek. He's just brutally honest. Sometimes he's like, "No, you're an idiot." So, but I trust them with what they're doing, and you just have to have the right people in place. So I would love to have nothing but people that are smarter and better than me, running these different things for me.
So. As far as absorbing information and taking it in and being able to apply it, everybody's a little different, right? People have different styles of learning and then different styles of execution. For you, what's your style? Are you somebody who needs to do it? Are you somebody who needs to hear it? Are you somebody that needs to read it? What have you discovered is the best way for you to take in information that makes it usable for yourself?
I love being involved in it. I like going to events. I love hearing information and writing it down and being there. I'm a little ADD, always have been. And that's part of my reasons. Like I had issues in school because I didn't want to pay attention there. But when you care about it a little more, it makes me grasp on a little more. But reading doesn't help me a lot. I do listen to audiobooks when I'm driving because I'm tired of music that is the same songs over and over. So I try doing that, and I can take in a little information before my mind starts wandering. But when I'm in a setting where I can watch and interact and talk to people, that's when I really absorb information, because then I get to ask the questions. Hey, well, what about this that my brain thinks about? Hey, how do we do this? Or how do you get into this? And it just really sucks me in.
One of the things that I've discovered, I love to intake information like crazy. I just absorb it. I think about it, and oftentimes I find myself really obsessed and wrapped up in an idea or a thought that I'm working on. Yeah. One of the things I've noticed with myself to really solidify how well I understand something is when I try to teach it to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
So, is that something that you find yourself doing with your team, or do you find yourself more trying to get your leadership to be able to teach? Or like, how does that work inside your organization, where if you're out there learning all this stuff, it can't just stop with you, otherwise it was kind of worthless other than making you feel better, right? So how does that work when you're out there growing and learning, and now you want to do something to your business with it?
Well, it depends on the topic. So there are things that Josh goes in and talks about, and that's the processes side of it. But when I do learn things that can help them, and I still sell because I enjoy it, it's fun, and there are a lot of people that have helped me build my business, realtors, insurance agents. So when I can help them and give back to them and make sure that we're out there killing it for them, I go out and I do those things. So I'm still out in the field, and I'm still learning things out there, because it's constantly evolving. They're constantly changing rules in insurance where you have to do different things, and so every time I figure out new ways to do stuff that helps, I absolutely bring it into our sales meeting. I say, hey, this is what we got going on. Or if I learned something at an event that is my side of things, like sales and marketing, or how we can get in front of more people, I absolutely share it with them. And I think the biggest thing probably for me, and I was a sales rep for years, so I look at everything from the sales rep side, but it's hard to implement new things, and like people can get stuck in their ways. So it's like I have to get across, like, hey, this really works, let's just go out there and try it a few times, and then if you can get them to see the value and it works, then it takes off. So yeah, absolutely, I want to share that information.
Yeah. So what was one of your biggest, over the course of getting to where you got in the last 2 years, you're going to have some bumps in the road. Mm-hmm. What was the biggest one?
So last year we weren't ready for it infrastructurally. We started with 4 reps, including myself, and we ended with 17, not including myself. So we went from, in 2019, doing 5, 6, 7 houses a week, to last year during our busy season we were doing 10 and 11 per day. Yeah. So it got real crazy there for a while. For about 2 months, every day that was sunny, we were doing 10 to 11 houses a day. So just getting the systems in place to make sure everything was done properly and that we didn't lose any quality was probably the biggest struggle. Fortunately, we got linked up with really good crews, and my main set of crews are amazing. They film everything and they do everything like they're supposed to. So I got lucky that we didn't have those issues, but if I didn't have those quality people in place, it could have been a disaster.
Oof. Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of growth. I don't recommend it, by the way, but that's a fantastic thing to have accomplished. That's pretty cool. I had a question for you just a second ago in my mind. What's a thing you feel like you know the least about right now that you're like, man, I really got to get a hold of this?
I would say the processes of, there's different KPIs and things that you're supposed to do when you're kind of at this level and follow. Again, I'm going to keep following on Josh, like he's dealing with those things right now. But I don't know anything about it. I would be absolutely lost without somebody that could do those particular sort of things, because it's something I've never had to deal with ever in my career, life, anything.
And you're talking about the ability to make decisions based on data.
Correct.
Gathering and tracking data and information, right?
That is correct.
Which is like, for those people who are oftentimes marketing and sales minded, people who are just really great with people, the concept of tracking data, like we tend to go, well, I mean, you can't track what I do. I mean, I'm amazing. I'm an artist. I sell roofs. I am like, you can't track this,
yeah.
Right? But as it turns out, you kind of can a little bit.
Yes.
And you have to be able to work on those skills with your people, but you don't know which skill to work on unless you're tracking it. Right?
Yeah, it's actually funny because I told you I worked in my family business for 15, 16 years, and they had these things and they were call logs, like how many calls did you make, how many of these did you do, how many of these did you? I hated doing them. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting the results, what's it matter? And it's funny now, like I probably owe an apology to my family because I always gave
Mom,
them grief.
Dad.
I always gave them grief about it. I'm like, look, I'm getting the results, what's it matter? Well, it matters because we need to know where these things are coming from and what we're doing and what's working. And so now I'm implementing the same things, or Josh is implementing the same things in my company, and I know the value of them, and I'm like, yeah, we got to do that. But it always makes me think how hard of a time I gave them.
Right,
so.
Like when you look back and you're like, Dad told me this was going to happen, and you're like, damn it. Just so happens your parents are backstage.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So what are you most excited about moving forward?
Man, I'm just excited about this upcoming year. Like, I have no idea where we're going to be in a few years. I didn't think we'd be here in 2 years, and we're building and we're growing. We're setting things up to, have this massive growth in a very safe way. We bought 2 equipters last year, which is super cool. We just started using them on our properties. We get compliments on them. The yards.
Shout out to Equipter. We're killing it here.
Hey, but no, I mean, seriously, like people are stopping on the street, looking at them. We're getting it wrapped next week with our logos. It's going to be so awesome. So we have I'm just shouting out to everybody. Heath Hicks, catch-all.
Hey Heath.
We have the catch-all set up there, and it's looks amazing, and it's got our logos, and it's stopping everything, and then the equipter. So we're trying to have the best quality system in builds, but it's also a huge marketing tool. Like, you have this going on, and then you have a person with a blue tarp next to you. Actually, my friend Dustin Reese, he owns Gladiator Roofing and Roof Wars.
Here it comes, Dustin. Here it comes.
So we had this is completely coincidental, but there was this build last year that we had, and we went out there, and Dustin had apparently got these 4 houses right here, and then we somehow got the one dead center of it, right in the middle of them. It was actually, they didn't even know because they had 4 builds going on that day, and it was Dustin's wife went over there, and she thought it was their job site. She's out there helping our crew clean up. But it was really cool because it was like right when we got our first catch-all system, and we had the catch-all set up, and then they had blue tarps all over here. And so Dust hit me up later. He's like, "What was that tarp that you guys had on there?" And then I showed him like, "I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?" We made it. But I'm just excited to see all this stuff because we have this top of the line equipment. We got great people in place. We're getting our systems in place. We got a great ops manager that takes care of everything now, schedules it, makes sure everything's going according to plan. Our project managers are all awesome, man. They truly care about people. They love working here. It's, I think a lot of them, like me, came from a job that was more high stress, and this is more fun. I feel like my last job was 90% stress, 10% fun, and I feel like this is just totally flipped around, and it's 90% fun. You get to go out and talk to people and travel and help people, and then you have, 10% stress with some bad customers and different things that happen, and, things that happen on our ends, but it's just a total different world for me, and so I think everybody's really happy to be working here, and they want it to be successful, and I think we just got a good system in place where everybody's happy and making money, and hopefully we can keep it up, continue to grow it.
All right, so I think I got one more question for you here.
Sure.
Of all the things that you've learned over the course of over having this business and having a furniture business and all this kind of stuff, and I know you've got kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
What would you say is the number one lesson you hope your kids learn as early as possible?
Find something, this is going to sound so cliche, I swear, but find something that you legitimately like doing. My family business gave me that I worked for, my family's business, gave me a lot of valuable information. I learned a lot of good business content, sales, marketing, different things, how to act in the professional world and, how to deal with customers, things like that. But I wasn't happy doing it. I wasn't happy there in general. And when I came into this, I love it. And I may work 10, 12 hours some days, and it doesn't even feel like it. So legitimately, sounds cliche, but find something that you enjoy doing and do it, and you'll be a lot happier.
Yeah, he's right. That was super cliche. Aaron, thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Christy. Look him up on Facebook, check him out, LinkedIn, and connect with him, because I can tell you right now, he will share, he will work, he will learn, he's interested. And if you've got some help you can offer him, he'll take that too.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being with us, man.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Appreciate it.
And that was Aaron Christy and Nathan Thibodeau, and that was a really awesome interview. I know that Aaron has a ton of knowledge, and he has really spent the entire last 2 years just absorbing. He's like a sponge. I've watched him grow and watched his business grow. I've met with his team, and seeing what he's done is really remarkable. So make sure to reach out to him. Folks, this is the kind of content you're going to get at the American Contractor Summit. If you have not signed up yet, go to the American Contractor Summit Facebook event page, get your ticket. It's $99 and you will love it. So I really appreciate you guys watching today. In just 2 days, we're going to be right back here again, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to go all the way until 6 p.m., 7 sessions, and then we'll do it again on Friday. So this is the best way to get your team motivated and get started for 2021. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm John Dye, and this was the American Contractor Show. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bush. And what a great preview of what the American Contractor Summit is all about, what the American Contractor Show is all about. We're here to help you guys to become as knowledgeable as possible, to elevate your businesses, elevate your mind, elevate what you're doing, and become the professional services equivalent in the construction world.
And for those of you who might be looking at this, who've never actually attended a live event, I've dealt with numerous contractors. They've never gone to an IRE, they've never gone to a Windstorm or Roofcon, or they've never gone to
and those events are great too. We totally encourage people to go to those events.
They're great events, and this little thing right here is probably the least expensive way for you to get a taste of the kind of education that people actually get when they go to these events. So if you've ever wondered, is it worth it to go to one of these events? Just spend $100 with us and take a look at the kind of content you're going to get.
Get your team together, elevate your entire company. This is all about scaling, about growing, recruiting, building your businesses so that they are sustainable for years and years to come. Paul Reed's going to be there, Jim Johnson, Dale Childress, Hunter Bullock, can name them all off. It's going to be awesome, but I really appreciate you guys watching today. Thank you for tuning in. I cannot wait until next week because that is going to be an awesome time, and so it's going to be so much fun.